Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel. Today we're going to fire up our Kamado Joe Classic and do some smoked pork belly. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is put together a little dry rub for this pork belly, and I'm going to start out with 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I'm just going to mix that together, and we're going to set it aside until we get our pork belly out. I've lit a fire in the firebox of my Kamado Joe Classic here, and I'm going to put in several chunks of smoking wood, and today I'm just going to use some oak. I'm going to put about 4 chunks in here. I'm going to have one kind of close to the middle so it'll get started smoking fairly quickly. And then I'm going to set my divide and conquer flexible cooking rack in place with my heat deflectors in the low position, and I'm going to set both halves of the grill grate in the upper position, and we're going to stabilize this grill at somewhere around 225 degrees. In order to stabilize at 225, I'm going to leave the bottom vent open about 1 inch, and I'm going to close the slider on the top to about the first notch or so, and we'll just kind of watch it from here. If I need to cool the grill down, I'll close it, or if I need to warm it up, I'll open it here. So right here is where we're going to stabilize. Okay, here's the star of our show. I've got about a 5-pound block here of pork belly that still has the skin on the back side, and we're going to leave that on for now. But what we're going to do is we're going to flip this guy over, and we're going to coat everything but the skin side with that rub that we just made. And after we get that coated completely, we're just going to let this sit until our grill comes up to temperature. Our grill's just about up to temp, so I'm going to crack the lid on it, and we're going to set this pork belly right on the grill, right in the middle, and we're going to let this smoke for 4 or 5 hours until we get up to an internal temperature of around 200 degrees on this. And like I said, that's going to take 4 to 5 hours. So when we get back to 200 degrees on the internal temp, we'll be back to have a look. While our pork belly is on the smoker, we're going to make a glaze that we're going to finish that off with when it's done. So I'm starting out here in a little mixing bowl with 1/2 cup of honey, and to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard, 1/4 cup of stone ground whole grain mustard, 1 tablespoon of freshly minced ginger, and then 1 tablespoon of dried tarragon. And I'm just going to whisk that all together. And this is going to become a honey mustard glaze that we're going to put on that pork belly when it's finished. And when we get to that point, I'll show you what we're going to do with this. It's going to be amazing. We have been going for 4 hours and 15 minutes on this particular piece of pork belly, and this guy is ready to come off. So I'm going to take it off the grill. I'm going to take it inside and loosely tin it with foil and let it sit for a few minutes before we move on to the next step. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to reconfigure the grill just a little bit. I'm going to pull the grill grates off, and I am going to take 1/2 of the heat deflector out. And then I'm going to place the cast iron griddle on the low side over the direct flame, and I'm going to place 1/2 of the grill grate back over here over indirect heat. So I'm going to open the vents up now, and we're going to let the dome temp in the grill come up to about 400 degrees. Okay, I have flipped this over, and I've taken the skin off the back side of this, and actually most of this skin came off when I took it off the grill, and I used the knife to get the rest of it off. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to cut this into squares. Well, we're actually going to call these rectangles because I'm going to cut each of these into 2. And then what we're going to do is take these back to the grill and put these fat side down on that cast iron griddle, and we're going to sear those very well. Okay, we've got our cast iron griddle nice and hot, so we're going to take these and put these fat side down on there for about a minute per side, or about a minute each. Okay, these actually went about 90 seconds, so I'm going to move these over here to the indirect side of the grill, and then we're going to baste these with that honey mustard that we made. And I got 2 more we're going to put on here. But first of all, we're going to give these a good baste with that honey mustard and let these go for another 10 minutes or so over here on the indirect side of the grill with the lid closed. Okay guys, this is ready. We've got a good bit of smoke here from the amount of grease that we have going on in this grill, so these are ready to come off. So I'm going to take these off. We're going to take them inside and let them cool for just a minute, and then we're going to have a taste. Okay guys, it's time for the taste test. This stuff looks absolutely phenomenal, and it's just super tender. You really don't even need a knife to cut this, so let's give it a try. That's just melt in your mouth. That's a beautiful flavor. The honey mustard here is absolutely awesome. That's perfect. I got no complaints about that. This idea came from a book that I have. It's by Chris Lilly. It's called Fire and Smoke, A Pitmaster's Secret. I used Chris's technique and changed up the recipe a good bit. So if you want to find out more about that, I do highly recommend this book, by the way, if you don't have it. So give this a try. Let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/KamadoJoe. Follow us on Twitter @KamadoJoe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.